Right, so now let's look at, so we've done the outside edges of the doily, so we've done layer 2, and you could do all that with layer 1 as well if you wanted to, so you could put the patterns in without having that scallopy doily edge. But what about the inside cuts? So let's have a look what that looks like. So if we go back into retrieve data, into your USB, back into your doilies, and all this will work with any of these. All right, I've just chosen circle 6 because I thought it looked better on camera. That's the only reason I chose it. So if we go back into the large, and remember when we're talking about this, we've got, bear with, layer 1, which we don't need, so we can put that in the bin. So that one can go in the bin. We've then got layer 2, which is your decorative edge. I don't want that one, so I'm going to put that one in the bin. And then layer 3, sorry, which is like the little inverted scalloped edge I want to keep. And so I'm going to use this arrow to get to layer 4, which is the plain circle. And everything I'm about to do now, you can do with both of these edges. You'll just get a different look because the outside edge will either be a plain circle or the inverted scallop. So we've got that. So let's press OK now. Let's add and go back into retrieve data, back into the USB, into the doilies, circle, doily number 6, and let's bring in the patterned panels. So we're going to go down and go into the pattern panel. So we've now got that detail that cuts in again. So let's set that there. And then we're going to go again, edit, multiple select, everything on the mat, press OK, go to your directional arrows and to your alignment and align them centrally vertically and centrally horizontally. And then press OK and you've got all those inside each other. So that will give you the inverted scalloped edge and then all the pattern cut in. So let's have a look what that looks like as your options. So we have got all of them. So what as it looks like on the scan and cut screen now, that's all of them together. Okay. Then we've got the outside edge with just the large and the medium. Then we've got the outside edge with the medium and the small. Then we've got the outside edge with just the large. I like that one. I think that looks really, really nice. Now, if you were buying a die that size, you're probably looking at $19.99, I would say, maybe $15.99 on an offer, but that's the kind of money that you're looking at. Then you've got with just the medium, and then you've got the one with just the small. So maybe you've got a beautiful floral wreath. I think when the wider it gets, the chunkier this part gets, the more you're going to need to fill it. But there might be an option when, you know, sometimes that's what you want to do. You might have a lovely floral wreath and you think, I just need something for it to sit on top of. This could be that something. So I think that's really, really fun to be able to take that and have a play and see what you can come up with those. And then, of course, we've got our original doily. So what we can then do, and it's going to cover up the black bit, but you could then slot that back in there and it gives you that look. Or you can take this one. This is when it starts to become just phenomenal. Look how different that looks now. It's super, super, super cool. And then maybe just that one. It's great fun. Just have a play. Just sit there and have a play and see what you want, you know, what look works for you, because they all look different. So if I bring this one in now with just the center, look how different that looks once you've got that edge around it. So you're constantly building all these different combinations. Just don't try and do all of them at once, okay? Because I'll tell you, my head was fizzy, I would say. It's like static on a television by the time I'd worked all these out. But I have to say, even since I first started demonstrating on TV, when I used to bring you EK Success punches and I would work out how many different shapes and sizes I could get from one border punch, it's in me. I love that bit. And I think that's why we're bringing you some of these USBs now, because the versatility is phenomenal. And it's all right somebody sitting there and telling you that, but actually physically showing you gives you a better idea of where you can take the USB. And when you think about the cost of a USB and the amount of options you've got, it's pennies per file. You know, with all the options, it's such good value for money. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Right, so the next thing that we're going to do is think about if we create frames. Okay, so I'm going to keep those patterns on there. I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm also going to keep this on there as well. Actually no, I can get rid of that because I'm going to bring in the decorative panels next. So I'm keeping those on, and this time what we're going to do is add, and we're going to go into retrieve data and into the USB, and we're going to go back into our doilies, and this time we're going to go into circle again, and we're going to go into circle 6. But now what we're going to do is revisit this, which is the decorative edges, because what this does is give you 3 of those decorative edges, a large, a medium and a small. So now we can start to mix up the patterned panels and create frames with these. So instead of having a solid center, you can now start to make frames. So if we set that on the mat, I'll show you the options. So you could take that one and you could put that one inside there, and then you could take the medium one and put that inside there. So let's deal with that. Let's see what this one looks like. So we select one part of that, we go to edit, we multiple select part of the mat because I don't want this bit here included. We drag a box over that so that it can't see it. We press OK, and then we press OK again, go to our alignment, and we do exactly the same thing. Align it centrally vertically and centrally horizontally, and then when we tap off, you've now got a frame. Then you could take this one and you could use that middle, bear with, need to access that by using these, because don't forget the Scan and Cut sees it as a pile, and we want to see it. So I could take that one and put that over there, and I could have that one in there and just use that bit, or I could put that one in there and make another frame. So it's all about those combinations again. So let me show you what that looks like. I love this bit. So we have got the large pattern with the medium and the large decorative edge. Okay. We've then got the large decorative edge, the small decorative edge, and the large and the medium pattern in there. We've then got, let's have a look what else we've got. We've got the large decorative edge, the small decorative edge, and the large patterned panel. We've then got the large decorative edge, the small decorative edge, and the medium panel. We've then got the medium and the small with the medium decorative panel. And then we've got the medium outside edge and the medium and the small. And then you can do all that again, but with the plain circle. So it just gets more and more and more every time you do it. It's just brilliant. But then you bring in things like, so you bring in your original doily, and then you've got all these options now. So you've got that one. I mean, that looks completely different to the ones that we've done before, which is super, super, super exciting. Then you've got, and this edge here is a replica of this, but smaller. So everything works together. It's all been thought through properly. I drove the team mad. I mean, I drive them mad every month, but this month in particular, I was like, but I need that edge to do this edge to do that. But they've nailed it, I have to say. I do have a fabulous team. And then look at this. So you can have that inside there if you want to as well. Or you could have that one with that one, and you could cut. Honestly, the combinations really are endless, and it's just great fun. Right, so let's have a look at what it looks like if you take the panels and put them inside a shape. So a shape that's pre-installed in the machine's memory. And I'm just going to bring these in. So what I did with this was I kept the pattern panels that cut into the cardstock, and I put the smallest one inside a 160mm square. that square can be any size you want. It could be just slightly bigger, and that could be a whole pattern that you create in the back. So instead of bringing on the doily cutting files, you bring on the patterned panel file from within the doily, but you use a shape that's pre-installed into machine's memory. And that's when you start to use your scan and cut to its full potential, because you're using the shapes that Brother have already given you as well. So that's with the small one, and you might think, yeah, but I might never, that's really chunky around here just with that little bit of detail. Well, look what happens if you bring the medium one in. You've then got somewhere to put another frame. You've got somewhere to put a sentiment. What happens if we bring in the large one? Again, that's a card front. You then mat and layer inside there, and you build up your project. So you're now using it, same patterns, but within a different shape. Then we can have the small and the medium one, like that. So again, that gives you room to be able to do maybe a frame, mat and layer. So if you want to make quick, simple cards to sell, this is perfect, because all the detail is being cut into just a piece of card. But how impactful do they look? You know, put your word sentiment around there, mat and layer that onto some different colours. It's just fabulous. Then we've got the medium and the large cut into the square. And then we've got the small, medium and large cut into a square. So if you want to make a square card, even though it's round, you can absolutely do that just by changing that outside edge. But this one is super cool. And I'd really like to show you how I did this, because now you're creating your own panels. So I would like to show you how to do that one. So I'm just going to tidy this desk up and pause, because I want to do this as a separate piece, and I'm going to call this creating your own background, because that is a whole nother level, and you can do that with all the smaller pieces of the doilies. So 2 minutes, and then I'll come back, I'll show you that.